Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, has it been a long time or has it been a good time? Yo, what's going on? You know, there's a bunch of power here, MC Bacon. This is another episode of the one and only Abiertos. Woo!
Sounds like somebody got his Wheaties this morning. He's all excited, all powered up.
Yeah.
Energized. I think the little bunny just literally, I could just see it go by his feet.
Hey, man. Good to see you again, Mendez. How's everything good with you?
It's good, and you know what? I'm nervous
Why are you nervous?
because the last time we did a live for a different reason, and today we're doing a live because we got a very special guest.
Yes, we do.
She's here to give us information and enrich our knowledge, culture, and more importantly, empower women in a sense that we haven't been able to teach as of yet. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because today's going to be something different. If you got pop in as we're live, and if you're coming in and out, it's a long weekend, so we'll see what happens. But whatever, it's clever. It's fun. This is Abiertos. We're here with you. Hello, Miss Dianne. How are you? Welcome into Abiertos.
Hey, man. Yeah. Woo!
Hey there, guys. Thank you so much for having me. This is so cool.
Definitely, it's a pleasure to have you. And it's more, I don't want to say it's a pleasure, but it's more of an honor because somebody like yourself that has done what you've done. I'm not going to get into it. I'll let you talk to us and tell us a little about and tell our viewers about you. But what you've done and been able to accomplish, it's amazing. I know we talked to a lot of coaches, a lot of life coaches. We've had a couple of psychologists, some therapists. We've got actually two of my favorites. Actually, everybody's been a favorite. I'm not going to lie. I think now that I think about it. But the last interview I did on my own, Miss Shiloh, she has really, really, really opened up and shown us a lot of different ways how relationships sometimes is not the guy that's wrong. And that has brought us so much enlightenment into our lives and helped understand, you know what? As Bacon and I have said, yes, we guys are a little bit metal-headed, and I say that because I don't want to use the word that I want to use. However, sometimes the ladies are so involved in everything else that they just believe that we're on the same wavelength, but we're not.
I get it. I totally, yeah. That's a lot of truth in that, you know. As being a wife, I'm a mom also of 3, so our wavelength and our speed is like on a different path often because there's so many trajectories it's going and their own thoughts that we sometimes forget that not everybody sees what we see, not everybody is observant. I'm not saying that they're not observant, but you know, sometimes we forget that they're not on the same wavelength and we just have to reel ourselves back to the same platform that they're at and just slow down the thoughts and, you know, and be patient with themselves, with the others too, to like, you know, get them caught up to speed and not get frustrated because we're already 20 paces ahead and get frustrated because they're not, you know, they can't read our minds. So it's a big wake-up call and a grounding for ourselves to have that conversation and be on the same page. My God, that's like key right there.
Yes, I completely agree with you. Being on the same page is so important. But sometimes I'm going to let that one go for now because we men are not. I'll just leave it at that. We men are not. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Ms. Dianne. Where are you located? Where's your shop? Tell us, you know, the important facts.
All right, cool. So my name is Dianne Jimenez. I am located in Quebec, Canada. So the province of Quebec in Canada. Yeah, it's the French province, but we are very multilingual, multicultural here. And yeah, it's great to be here. So I've been a professional organizer back from 2019 when my kids were still toddlers. And I decided to get into this whole thing because I figured as a mom, trying to get everything organized and keep our children focused because my oldest one was starting elementary school. Well, he was in elementary school, but it was like, he was kind of like, we used to call him Tornado Kai because he would follow the tornado, create the tornado or follow the tornado and keep like a wake of mess with him. And we're like, okay, that's how he is. But because of elementary school, I needed to calm things down and get him focused, and also like help myself be a little bit more on top of things, especially because I had two other babies and toddlers with me. So that whole project, or I guess path of being more organized and helping myself, get more clarity, be on top of stuff, and also get my husband all on the same page to get our kids on the path to success. So we always say um, we want to put our kids in the best position to be successful as possible. So we've said that for years, and like we've put it on our brains, but then we're looking at our home life, and it's like, are they really in a position of success? There's clutter everywhere, there's mess here and there, so it's easy for distractions, which our little tornado was becoming. So I had to reel myself back in, reel us back in, of like, we got to put our stuff away. We got to teach, have better habits. It's I'm not saying it's perfect right now. Like we have teens and tweens now. So it's a work in progress. And with that, I kind of created my business of helping families mainly of organizing their homes, and, trying to help them gain more peace in their homes and more time and just a little more organization so that they can get on with their lives and not spend all day, all weekend cleaning. So that's me in a nutshell. And I also have a podcast too. It's called the Organized Ish Parent Podcast, because as parents, we're not always Pinterest perfect, organized. We just do the best we can and keep going. So that's me in a nutshell.
Bacon, notice how she said ish, organized
I like
ish.
that. I like that. Organize this. That's it.
Because and I agree. I have to agree on that because as much as some days we are and we look and the world may see us, there's something wrong. You didn't put the milk the right way. The eggs were put in backwards. The kids were rushing and they left this whatever uniform wherever they wanted to leave it.
Yeah.
It's, if can't be perfect, but
No.
you can be perfect to yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Well,
So,
yeah. Go on. Sorry. Sorry.
no, sorry to cut you off. I was about to go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's like because you just triggered something in my brain because you said about like being perfect. Because during, when was it, in 2015, 2016, I had kids under 4, and we decided to renovate our house, like gut it to like the studs. So we literally had to move out of the house and live in boxes at my mom's house. And then she decided to downsize, and we hauled everything and moved to my in-laws' house with them and their pets that we've never lived with pets for with before. And because fast forward to like a year not living in our house, and then coming back to everything with older toddlers and just shoving everything back in. So this is before my whole professional organizing thing. But I one day I was just looking at our house. It was beautiful, it was modern, the natural light was coming in, and the facades of the cabinets just got me like, wow, this is really beautiful. But then it was kind of like I don't know how to say it, but like a parallel to life. Like, you see someone all dressed nicely, like they look good, they look sharp, they're built a certain, like, they're fit, and they look like they have their poop together. But then you start opening up the layers. Like I was opening up my drawers and the closets and everything, and it was just disaster. It's a mess. So yeah, that had to do with my whole, okay, we need to start straight, like matching the inside with the outside. So that's your whole thing about being, I forgot what word you used, but it triggered me to that of like fixing ourselves inside so that matches the outside that we want to portray.
But that's so right. Well, you just said it's so right because you know what? Sometimes you can have the Gucci and you can have the Prada, but if your heart ain't Gucci and Prada, and you're looking at that 299 special discount heart, it ain't gonna work for you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly.
Well, Diane, with everything you've done, what is one of the biggest motivators for you, apart from your family? What drives you to want to help other women to achieve not only their goals, but achieve this middle happy place that I see that you're in?
Oh, that's such a great question because my whole why. also, aside from like, trying to better my family situation and everything. But I have this thing, I guess it's within me why I started what I'm doing. I got out of corporate, um, and all that mess and working for the man. Um, I wanted to, my drive is to like just help moms, women out there, like find themselves and to create the life that they deserve or that they want, that envisioned for themselves for like the longest time, but they've always had these barriers and these constraints and these self doubt that they're not good enough or they're not enough, and they can't because they don't have money, or they can't because they have all these limitations with time, and maybe their spouse or their partner is just like, they live life a certain way, so they have to match that life, for God knows when, until eternity. I don't know, but yeah, my whole thing is about just empowering women to find themselves and building the life that they want to create, really. So, in a nutshell, that's what I wanted.
Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Thank you.
I get what you're saying right now, because I know a lot of single moms that carry that same description you were mentioning, and I told them to watch this episode today, because you've given a lot of insight so far that I can even reach out to them and let them know, give them ideas of how to do things and so on, because they feel, the women that I know, they have that feeling of, what else can I do? Like they feel like they're doing so much already, but don't see, I guess, the results of what they're doing. Maybe there's a different way of approaching it, or something they need to step back and look and just reassess in their mind to how to, and they lack that confidence in
Yeah,
regards to putting it forward, compared to just thinking about it and not doing it at all.
right.
So yeah,
I think there's a lot of fear in that women or moms have, like, I'm now a mom, so I fit inside this box, and this is the box that I'm going to be in until kingdom come. I'm a mom, and I'm just this.
yeah,
And what I want to define is that you're not just a mom. You're far beyond that. You were someone before you had children. You were someone before you met your partner, your spouse. And we tend to forget who we are because we're putting everyone before us, our spouse, our children, our life, everything. We're always at the bottom of the list, and we end up losing ourselves. And then what I really didn't want, this is earlier on when we were having kids and stuff, I was telling my husband, I was like our first kid was it's our first kid. We didn't know what was going on. I mean, he's fine. He was just getting sick. Like every kid gets sick, especially when they go into daycare. And then I was working at this job that was okay. And I was like, they keep calling me because he's sick at the daycare, so I have to leave because I'm more flexible, And then so one day I had my kid at home, and I was just there. And I'm very ambitious, I wanted to build a life for myself and climb up the corporate ladder or something. Then I found myself working for free at home, answering emails, logging into the portal. This is back in like 2007, 2008, when the internet didn't work. It wasn't really like, it was like the beginning of the internet or something, and it was just chatting. So I would answer emails, I'd log into the portal, and my colleagues were like, "What are you doing? You're home with your kid. He's sick." I'm like, "Yeah. I'm just gotta answer all these emails." And I didn't know that I was on it for like an hour, and I had my kid between my legs, sitting at the kitchen table. And then when I stopped, he was in front of me, and his head was pressed on the table, and he had passed out. He was like just out of it and sick. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? I'm putting other people's needs, like the man again, my colleagues' needs, my boss's needs, before my own kid. And I wasn't being the mom that I wanted to be, that I've ever dreamed of being. And it was very gross. And it was very, like, I think about it now, and I'm trying to, like, I feel this lump in my throat. It's like something so silly, but it's like, this is so dumb. Why am I putting everybody else before my own kid? So I talked to my husband about it, and he said, well, we both decided, like, you know what, we're okay right now. So you stay home, and we'll just figure it out. So from that point, I kind of like took care of our kids, but I also started, working on myself and doing my own businesses. So I went into massage therapy during mat leave, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start a business because I don't want to go back working for somebody else and making someone else millions of dollars. I want to make my life. But I kept getting pregnant. So that always stopped me from launching anything. I was going to become a massage therapist, and it was going to be great. And again, this is before the internet and Facebook and Facebook was there, but like the whole marketing thing of like having people come over to your house and then massaging, that was very scary to me. But people do it right now, and it's completely fine. But the whole just building your life and stuff, and balancing it with that mom guilt, and if you're good enough, again, if you can actually do this, there's so many little boxes that you try to get out of, but society and your own deep beliefs in yourself keep pulling you back into that box that, no, you're just a mom and you should be doing this all your life. Anyways, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm rambling, but I keep
No,
going
no,
on.
no, 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 no. By all means, by all means. This is what I was talking to you about, being organic. This is what we love, because our viewers are going to be able to understand you and understand why you are who you are. And more importantly, we'd like to give that back, because some people, some parents, some moms in your aspect, feel that they're alone, feel that there's nobody else that understands them,
Yeah.
and you end up being in this depressive state that you don't understand, and those around you don't understand, because their kids are older, or they're your mom, your auntie, or whatever, or your best friend that doesn't have kids your age.
Yeah.
So it's not whether they understood it at one point, they don't understand you at that point.
Correct. And
So having somebody like yourself open up like you just did means the world to us here at Abiertos, because it shows how real life is. And we want that. We appreciate that, because you're showing us who you are, and our viewers will be able to connect with you. And who knows, maybe they'll start following your podcast too. Speaking of which, where can they watch your podcast?
oh, anywhere, even on YouTube, because I've recently, or in the last 6 months, my podcasts are also on video. So it's just me talking. Sometimes I'll have guests come in, and we talk about mom life. We talk about the whole being a working mom, and um, a lot of them are just like running their own business, like yeah, that, and having multiple kids. So we talk a lot about balancing all of that and getting our kids involved, because that has a big impact on our time. Like we want to, if I want, let's say, to pursue a passion, or to find out more about myself, or just have a better mental health and self-care and all that stuff, I need to find time, right? So as the kids get older, I think it's super important to get them involved in contributing to the home, because one day they're going to own a home, one day they're going to have to live with other people, and they can't be relying on other people to manage the house for them. You see, so I have two boys and a girl. I treat them all equally. It's not just like, oh, you're a girl, you do the laundry, you're a boy, you mow the lawn. No, everybody's folding mom and dad's underwear. Everybody is, mowing the lawn. So try to instill that at a early age. So with that time that you're buying, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, over time, after a week, you'll have all those 5 minutes adds up to some time for yourself, whether it's just to sit in the toilet and just get away from everyone, or actually like, drink a hot cup of coffee. And, that sometimes is peace for many moms, just to achieve that.
Yeah,
And, yeah.
it's true.
I have,
It's true.
I have a question. This may come off not in a bad way, but have you worked with any single fathers by any chance?
No, not really. I haven't No, but I've had a father like contact me to help them with their home organizing because
Oh,
his
okay.
wife is not able to, like, physically. It's very difficult.
Right.
But I've my communication is mainly with him. But when I work at the home, it's with the mom because he's working. So yeah, my communication I prefer if it's both like the couple, I'm talking to, and not just the one, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. It's just a lot easier that way.
Yeah, because it's just the way, just how the conversations are going, everything else. I was thinking to myself, maybe there's some, either single fathers or fathers that have their wife in a situation where they're not well and they're not able to, you know, do the motherly duties, and they're in a position to help out. So I was wondering if you had reached out, or someone's reached out to you and gotten some advice or anything else in regards to and what you do, right? So
Yeah. No, I love it that when people just contact, either if it's a question or male, female, single father, mom who's running the show. Um, I like all questions and I take them all. There's no like this is just for moms, even though my content is a lot based on moms.
yeah,
Um, I'm still talking to the single dads out there, or even like the reverse roles of the father being stay at home and the wife is the
yeah.
bread. You know, so
Okay. Wow. That's,
So this question has nothing to do with what you do, but
okay.
I'm just a very curious person, and
That's
you don't have to answer if you don't want to. Where in Quebec are you located?
in Montreal.
wow. Get
Well,
out of here.
why?
There's a reason why my co-host is asking you this because um you want to do the honors, sir, or
Oh, you took it off. Go right ahead, sir.
I'm nervous now.
he actually Mendez is based out of Ottawa. So
Get out.
yeah, he's not. I'm in Toronto, and he's in Ottawa.
Oh,
So
no.
and
Okay.
I'm gonna be coming up there. I'm coming up to Ottawa, coming up Thursday evening for a weekend event that we have going on, and it's I guess a big running scenario that they have in Ottawa each year.
Running scenario here. Let me put the ad up because we have to get as much verbiage and knowledge out to everybody.
Yeah,
So, for those of you that don't know, this weekend coming, 50 cities, 50 races, the running servant. Join Aaron Burrows Auto Race Weekend. We're going to be there. Swift Running is sponsoring this. So make sure you scan that QR code. You've got an opportunity to win a bunch of beautiful things. He's raising 50,000 Americans for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So if you guys have an opportunity to donate, to help, to give some love, whatever it is you need to do, whatever you can do. If you're going to be in Ottawa for the race, this is a huge race. We get about 50,000, 60,000 racers every year for it. It's wild. So we're going to be at the expo on Friday and Saturday live doing what we're doing with Miss Diane right now. However, this is going to be something, a unique moment because we've never done it live. So
That's exciting.
yes, I'm nervous. I've never done a live interview live like this in front of thousands of people.
Oof.
So
I'm
yeah,
excited.
talk about being put on the spot and the sponsor says to me, we want to see you in your brand new runners. I'm like, great. I'm not somebody that wants to go out in shorts and I'm being put in the spot to be in shorts. So it works. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Anything for the kids. And you know what? That's a big deal for me. And that's one of the reasons why when you came up and you were talking about your story in the group chat, I
Mhm.
said, you know what? We have to find a way to get her on because what you're doing affects children.
Yeah,
And to me, that's a big deal. Having children's safety, mental health, physical health at a premium as much as we can, because sometimes financially, emotionally, we ourselves aren't there, so we can't give it to the children. But if we can give that opportunity or have somebody teach us, bonus.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big advocate in empowering children. They're our future. Come on. you know, we need to empower them to know how to do things and know how to step up, and also continue that connection of not always just looking for people out there and doing whatever they're doing, but to also connect with their past, their grandparents, their history, um, just a short story, like when during COVID, during one of the activities that I would do with my kids is like, okay, here's a list of stuff that we have to do for the house, but the other activity is you're also going to call an older relative. Use the phone, learn how to dial an actual, not a cell phone, a pickup phone like home line, and you're going to ask 3 questions, and then you're going to just start the conversation, whatever it is. And I to this day right now, like when we have family gatherings, they're not afraid, or they don't, they have conversations, they answer the questions, and it's full like, looking at your grandparents' eyes or your great aunt or your great uncle's eyes, and having the conversation of what you're doing and how are you, and being able to talk to the past, ask questions themselves. So I think that's huge. As much as they are our future, I think they also need to, you know, keep in touch with the elders.
Yes, I'm huge on, and that's one thing I really love when children can turn around and connect with an older person, and they can
Mhm.
actually turn around and say, "Well, my grandma did this, my granddad did that," and they actually have knowledge to turn around and say, "No, no, no, this is reality. This is actually what happened.
Mhm.
I know so and so that was there. I blah." It makes a world of a difference to them because they're able to turn around, not only connect, but turn around and be true leaders, true advocates, instead of some of these people that turn around and say, "I'm going to wave a flag and I'm going to be part of the crew."
Yeah.
No, no, no. Again, this is just me being me. I'm sorry. It's not about me today. Um, and throwing it back over to you, Miss Diane. In a city like Montreal, you must be seeing this a lot, that there are people running around looking like headless chickens, owning businesses, having children, having all these other, as you put it, working for the man, but not being able to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
How do you turn around and find your clientele or voice yourself to the masses in a city like that?
Oh, that's a tough question because again, you're like you said, everybody's just trying to swim instead of sinking. And there's a lot of noise out there, and as parents, we're basically trying to tread water as our children are pulling us in all different areas with their activities and their play dates and their I gotta see this friend and he's having a sleepover and how come I can't go? On top of our own parents, I need this, I need help with that. How do you connect to the internet? How come my cell phone's not working? So we're being pulled by all sorts of areas. So your question to how do I connect with parents or how do I find people? Like I think it's just keep going on, putting myself out there, social media, my podcast, and also being involved with our community at school, volunteering, talking to the kids too, talking to the parents, and just having real conversations with them and how things are going at home. You know, um, I don't know if you guys I don't know if how deeply you went into my content and stuff, but I also work at my kids' school. I do lunch monitoring every day, so that part of me, I love kids. I love the light that they have in them and that hope for the future and that innocence too. And they're just the stuff that they say is amazing. And I'm not just talking about like kindergartners and like grade 2. I deal with grade 5 kids and I'm seeing grade 6s and I'm hearing all sorts of language. And it's very interesting to me, all the noise that they make. A lot of people, it's not their cup of tea, but I love immersing myself in that with them to find out who they are, what they do, how do they live, what do they say, how do they interact with each other. So I like that connection because then when I see the parents outside, even though they don't know who the heck I am, but I'm like, oh, I'm your kid's lunch monitor, or oh, I work at the school, and your kid's great, and this and that, and I kind of strike a conversation with them just to try to put like close the circle on how things are at home to help me also understand. Say if the kid's behaving a certain way, I can understand how the kid why they're behaving a certain way. So I guess is just putting myself out there, talking to real people, and putting content out there through social media. Yeah.
education through word of mouth.
Absolutely.
That's always been the stem. That's always been the stem, no matter what it is. It's and it's a beautiful thing that what you do because what caught me what you just said is regards that you like to have yourself around what the kids say, and there's a lot of people who can't handle that. So the fact that you find enjoyment in how the kids are at that particular age, and you can get an idea of what their situations are just by listening to them and see them interact with other kids and everything else.
Mhm.
That's that's something that's not very easy to do, and there's maybe a lot of parents out there that don't not say don't want people to know what their kids are all about, but at the end of the day, you're there and you see it and you're around it and you're immense by it. So it's something I have to give kudos to you for that because you know learning is such a great experience, and to some people it could be a bad experience depending on what it is.
Yeah.
So if you're able to put that aside and just take it in and just absorb it all as it's happening,
Yeah.
that's something refreshing to have and to be knowledgeable with, right? So
Yeah. Well, it's like they're a future, like I said before, but I listen to how they speak to each other, and I know parents are busy and they got life like zipping by them. So I try to kind of do my parent part, educator part of like helping them communicate better with each other, or just like mediate, I guess, of like, no, that's not what he's trying to say, and this is what you're saying. Kind of like just get them to just have someone to talk with them every day about different life things, or I even ask them about their lunches, like, oh, who prepared your lunch? Why don't you help if you don't like your lunch? So we'll have stuff like that, and I'll encourage them,
that's
speak to your
awesome.
parents. Speak
Yeah,
to your parents. If you don't like carrots, then why are there like a bag of carrots in your lunch every single day? Oh, it's because my grandma prepares it. Oh, it's because my dad just puts it on my lunch at the night before. Why can't you do it? Or just so I want to empower the kids in that area, in the event that maybe, I don't know, maybe they don't have a chance to at home. So I want to empower them in the other end to help that family dynamic. So it's not really prying into what's going on in their house, really, but like, just little areas where I can help get them to just be better humans, I guess. I don't know if that's like a right thing to say, but just like, I treat them like how I treat my kids. Just be better humans for the future. You know, communicate.
Well,
Be
sometimes kids need that. Sometimes kids need that encouragement or that, as I like to say to my sons or friends, yo, I'm going to push you and you're going to be pushed. And that's the end of it.
yeah.
And they just literally, I have one of them that on a daily basis messages me now. And sometimes it's with the most randomest questions. I'm like, my son never asked me this about you. But it's nice to have that return.
it
It's
is
nice when children can turn around and find somebody that they can communicate with and turn around and say, hey, I don't like this. What can I do?
absolutely.
And that's amazing that you're doing that. And especially as the lunch lady.
I know it's got such a bad undertone to it. It's like, ooh, the lunch lady is here. It's either really good or just like, ew.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that's
No,
awesome.
I try to be the cool lunch lady and try to understand their lingo.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
I don't understand. Apparently, I'm still back in 2023 with certain words, and then I get like a lot of heat for it for saying the 2023 words. Like, sorry, I know
Yep,
Rick wasn't part of it anymore.
yep, yep. I completely understand your pain. Um, on that aspect, would you be willing to at some point host children an advocacy group for them to grow or an empowerment group for teens, young adults, for them to find their voice?
Yeah, I think it's important for sure. Again, depending on like the angle that we're going towards. I mean, but for sure. Why? I sense a dot dot dot.
There's always a dot, dot, dot. No, my biggest thing is
I don't
I
want
love
to.
giving children the opportunity to speak, and sometimes as parents we don't. And I'll put my hand up with my kids. Sometimes I'll be just looking at them like, I don't want to hear it. It's been a bad day today. Walk away. And now that they're, I can't say they're older, but they are older. My youngest one's 19 now. Now they just voice themselves, and I'm like, However, they're right. They need to let it out, and
Yeah.
it's nice when when you turn around and you're able to hear them out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can learn so much from them sometimes.
Absolutely. There's
So
there's someone I follow long time now. She's I guess she's a parent coach, and her big thing, the first thing I got from her was slow down. Like you, the parent, however your day went, whatever you're thinking, whatever speed your brain is going, whatever kind of day you had. Once you get home and your kids are there, slow down. It's tough. It's hard. It's really hard. I'm a work in progress. Tell my husband the same thing too. I'm like, we got to slow down, because we're very quick to react and to respond, action reaction, and it's very difficult to just zip it and listen, you know.
it's unfortunate, but yes, we as adults tend to do that, and it's not nice because but it's done to us. As you mentioned, the man does it to us, and then when we're on our own, and then we see the kids and we do it to them, we're like, oh man, did I just do that to them?
Yeah.
No, I get you. I completely feel your vibe. I'm loving you're giving us information. However, what is one piece of advice you would give to a single parent? What's one piece of advice you would turn around and say to them? Here, let me empower you with this.
And how old are their kids, or it doesn't matter?
Let's go with teens since we're on the teens aspect.
Okay. Oh, this is tough because I'm entering the teens. Like I have my oldest is 14, going on 15 soon. You know, and I'm trying a lot of times. Okay, this is one thing that I also tell my husband. I tell myself, whatever it is that's going on with them in their moment that they're having, one, slow down your thoughts and your reactions, listen, but also tell yourself after, how were you at that age? How were you in a similar situation? And kind of try to understand where is it that they're coming from. And this is very difficult. You really have to like bring yourself down to a neutral in whatever capacity that you, or whatever, however you get to that point, whether it's breathing exercise or meditation or going out for a run or just like, hammering something in the garage. You get to that point and just like slow down and try to put yourself in that person's position based on your own past history, and kind of like be the person that you needed when you were their age, and not always the parent that you think you need to be because of however you saw your parents being, or your grandparents treating, not treating, but like speaking. It's very difficult. um yeah, I think that would be like the little insert before everything, before any kind of like action or words that come out of your mouth. So I don't know if that was okay.
Wow.
Right? I'm learning so much. I don't have kids of my own, and I'm learning so much from what's being said.
It's hard. It's hard. Imagine your like toughest, like suckiest day, and everybody's on you. You didn't sleep, or something happened at work, or whatever. Someone cut you off, and you're just pissed. And then you come home, and then all this drama is happening, or whatever. It's hard to not want to yell back because you too, you're so pissed, you're so mad. But they don't need that person. They need
Yeah.
you
Hey,
deeply.
Mom, how you doing, Mom? How's work? They don't ask, how was work? Nothing. Hey, Mom, he was hitting me at this. No, I didn't get this.
Yeah.
Uh, I salute all parents because, again, I don't have no kids of my own. Like I have
Stop
these.
lying. You got fur babies that you take care of like they were your own children. Don't even go there. And I've seen you fight with them. I've seen you turn around and try to lecture them while they're trying to tell you something, and you're just like, what do you want to say? I don't get it.
As well, yeah. Well, they are my kids because when I get home, they're fighting each other, and then they see me, they come jumping up on me, and you hear them growling earlier, and now they're quiet. So well, I guess I can understand my parent, yeah, but again, like there's so much information that I can share with family members or friends who have kids, and like I'm learning so much from because like I said, Mendez is a parent himself, so I get it, and I don't, yeah, it's kudos on the both of you.
Oh, you see me with my kids, and
Yeah,
I hold no bars with the three of them. I tell them as it is, as it comes, and if I need to use an F bomb or I need to turn around and cuddle them, this is what it is. And they just look at me. They're like, my oldest one's 25, my youngest one's 19, and he just looks at me. Okay, you're mad today. I'll be in the living room.
yeah,
You go to bed, have a nap.
I've actually seen that. I've actually seen that.
Your kids are telling you that?
Oh yeah,
That's hilarious. It's like role reversal. You need a nap. You need to sleep. You need some time out. Well, that's good. I mean, that's a reflection of your parenting style too. Of like, they sense that you need to decompress. So go decompress.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God, yes. And they're the same way. If they gotta tell me, they tell me. If they gotta put me in my place, they do it. Sometimes I'm like, who's the parent? What did I do? Oh yeah, my mom loves it. My mom loves it. She just looks at me like, now you know how I felt at that age.
Payback time. Payback.
Well,
But you know what? It's fun. It's fun because I'm able to, as you said, understand them. I'm able to actually connect and understand what some of this new lingo is without me wanting to. And yeah, my daughter, my middle daughter, I'm reversed. I've got two girls and one boy. My boy's the youngest. My middle what child says to me, "Can you stop using that language from the 19?" I'm like, listen.
From the what? What is she telling you?
Oh, I'm not going to use the vernacular she used. However, sometimes, as you will know, we use language from the 90s
Of course.
because we're so used to it, and we have coworkers our age and whatever, and you get home and you'll say something, they're like, what the heck does that mean? I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
you guys are saying this, which doesn't even come close to the word. At least we were close to the actual word.
Yes. Yes.
Damn. Yeah. Like, stop using that. You welcome, come back to the new millennium. I'm like, it's been 2.5 decades, child. Leave me alone. Mm. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? It's amazing. It's amazing to be able to be like this and grow and learn. And what you've said is true. The reflection of what they do to you, how they treat you as a parent, is how you treated them.
Hmm.
It's alarming in some cases, but in other cases, it's like, wow, you must have been a great dad. You must have been a great mom, a great grandmother, and it's so wild. It's so wild to see it.
Hmm. Oh yeah. No, it's really cool. Then part of me sometimes when I see how they react to certain things, and it's like I look back at how I react or my husband, and there's the guilt that goes with that because it's not always amazing reaction. We're not amazing parents. It's we are allowed to react. And the thing that I kind of like something that saves me, not saves me, but to open that discussion with them, and I tell them, I'm like, I'm sorry I'm reacting this way, but I also have feelings. I also have reactions. So with me explaining the way I feel and why I reacted, even though it was bad, it wasn't the correct way to react as per the books and as per everybody. I kind of like, I apologize for that, but this is how I felt. And it's like, I'm allowed to have a reaction. So I just need to like process too. I'm not a machine. So I find that I think that's a plus for us parents right now at this age that they're accepting that it's okay that we apologize. Whereas I grew up as my rules, my way, my rules, like shut up. you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how we grew. It was like, my dad was in the army.
Highway, highway.
Yes, my way or the highway. My dad was like, action now. Like he'd shake his belt, like action now and ask questions later. So it was it was different in the 70s and the 80s how we grew up. So I try to be a
Yes.
better method, apparently better like different methods.
See, what I said to my kids one day, we were watching a couple of comedians on one of the streaming networks, and I said to my child, I'm like, listen, you see what they're saying about how Latino parents act? I'm like, it's not just Latino parents. Anything and everything that's not Anglo,
Yeah.
and they all looked at me. "Oh, what are you talking about?" I'm like, listen, you guys don't know what it is to be standing 100 feet away and grandma throw something and peg you. There's no in between on that one. You don't understand what it is to turn around and say, "Good morning."
Yeah.
But I said, "Good morning." You woke me up. I'm sorry. I was just trying to be nice. But it's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is what our parents were taught and how they were shown to raise or encouraged by the grandparents to raise.
Hmm.
And now we all have changed and we're learning and we're being uh, that breaking point in humanity.
Yeah.
That would have been nice when we were younger.
I know. But then we wouldn't be who we are today.
Oh heck yeah, that's for
It's
sure.
completely different. Yeah.
So I've got one last question for you. I don't know if Bacon wants to ask anything else, but
Yes.
viewing everything how you do now, viewing everything how you see yourself as a parent, how you treat your children, how you have learned to love your children,
Mhm.
what would you say to your mom at your age right now? And how would you react to your dad at your age?
If my parents were my age right now, and I'm talking
Yes.
to them,
In other words, you're whatever age you are right now, when they were that age, they had you, they whatever which way they educated, treated you, brought you up, whichever amount of therapy you need to go through because of it. We all go through it. It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
However, what message would you have for them?
Oof. Same thing. Slow down. Slow down your thoughts. Just listen to your child. Listen. Listen. It's yeah. Yeah. And be open. So what are those? Well, those would be the three things. Just to like slow down, listen to understand, not listen to respond and react, but just listen to understand. And then um, I forgot what the other one was. It's like the mom, like perimenopause brain is hitting me now. Um, yeah, listen to understand and just like let's talk. Like let's talk. Yeah, they're different people than I am. So it's difficult. It's difficult to because there's your parents.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I got you.
You can
They're
see.
built a certain way, and they're in a certain like they're in a certain compartment in a certain way. So it's like I mean my dad passed away back in 2006, but my mom she's still around. She's traveling and stuff, and it's hard to have conversations with her sometimes to like just be a little understanding and open, sorry, or speak to the children a certain way that doesn't really fly. Like I took it and I was who I was. But then I see my kid listening to how she speaks and she's talking to her and I'm just like, sorry.
Yeah.
She's like the mic, and I'm like, sorry. So I'm kind of like, "Uh, I'm sorry she's like that, but that's how the information just comes out, But I've had a couple of conversations with my mom, and she's just sometimes she's built a certain way. She's different, or
If you don't mind me asking, what background are you?
Filipino,
I
Filipina.
told you, Aiken. I told you.
Well,
Yeah.
the last name gives it away.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I saw the last name and I was like, for sure that's you're Spanish. And then the Mendes was like, no, she looks Filipino. I think maybe she's just straight Filipino. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, immigrant family. So there's that too. They're the immigrant family. They came here. I think she was 25 with 3 kids, and just her, my dad, and my aunt. In the Philippines, you got everybody. She's 12 of 12. My dad was second of 9, and everybody was there. So you're growing up in a compound, practically a whole village, and you come here, and it's just 5 of you and your older sister who doesn't have children. So it was tough. It was tough. The
Oh yeah.
whole respect your elders and shut up and keep the kids quiet. Oof, it was hard. So I don't blame her for the way she was like she the both of them, they had, they parented with the information that they had at the time and with the bandwidth that they had. So yeah.
But I mean, look at you now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are the products of our own environments. And it's like there's something I always say to these episodes that I find it's like a generational thing. We were all raised in different eras, but they all seem to connect in regards to what we're trying to do for our kids,
Mhm.
and that's an amazing thing. No matter how good or bad it was, we become better people for it because that's the purpose.
Well, yeah, we try to be better with like we're
That's
in the internet age right now, so information is flying through us 24/7 all year round. So how can we not be more educated? How can we not be better parents to our children and to the future? And hopefully, you know, get them to be better parents too with their children.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. So one thing we do at the end of every episode on Abiertos is we ask our guest to give some words of wisdom to our viewers, to our followers, to our subscribers. So we're going to be off camera, but before I go, I want to say thank you to everybody, especially to Ms. Diane, for taking the time on this long weekend on a Sunday of all things to be
right.
here with us, to be away from our family because it is hard sometimes. And as much as we want the kids to listen, sometimes it's not their fault. So listen up, pay attention to what she has to say. Bacon, I love you. I'll see you later.
Love you too,
And
brother.
thank you so much. I really appreciate what you've shared with us today. And whenever you want to come back, and wherever you have any further information, please, please, please let us know. We would love to share it with the world.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here. I really enjoyed myself, and I really appreciate this time that you've given me. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us as well. So definitely appreciate it. And again, I learned a lot today, so I got a lot of information I can send out to people. Like I said, send your links and everything else, so I can connect you with everyone that I know. And yeah, it was an awesome episode as always.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I guess what I want to share with you guys is to be really kind to yourself and give yourself grace that you're on this journey, um, even though it feels alone. And yeah, sometimes you are alone doing this journey. Um, but no one said that you had to do life alone. So if you're a single parent, you have your kids, you have a community, you have other parents, you have, sometimes even principals at your school or just neighbors who've been there, done that. Reach out and talk to people, but mostly give yourself grace, give yourself that space and that time to say it's okay. Some days are good and some other days are just good enough. So I just want to leave you guys with that. And thank you so much for tuning in.